Good morning. Welcome to day 2 of the new devotional series we're going through together with Christ House using the End of Me devotional series by Kyle Idleman on the Youversion App. And as always, I invite you to join us. We have a group going through it together, reading, discussing, commenting, and you can find that at tiny.cc/CHDEVO. Yesterday we began by looking at this idea of transitioning from a self-centered life to laying down our lives to find Christ as the new center. And so today's theme picks up on this idea that if we're really going to come to the end of ourselves, we have to come to a place of brokenness. And there's some real beautiful comments on there, and I'll just say they're worth reading. Go read it. But at the opener, there was some quotes from a TED Talk and some discussion of vulnerability, and that part of becoming broken and being made new in Christ is first we have to get past some image issues. And they spoke of, quote, those people, that we have this notion that there's this group of people that need to be avoided, the bad ones, and that brokenness is the beginning of us finally admitting we are them, that there's not two groups, there's just us. And I think there's a real powerful point to catch here is we spend so much time trying to insulate ourselves and protect ourselves from those people, to keep up this facade that we're different, we're not like them. And yet, if we're ever going to become all that we were called to be transformed and find abundant life in Christ, the very thing we're running from, we need to get over. It's not until we can actually see ourselves through the lens of admitting our own brokenness, the sins that are within us, the flawedness of us, that we can actually begin to see the hope of the resurrection in us. And so as long as we push those definitions and keep up a front of righteousness, when we cling to our own sense of goodness, it keeps us from ever truly finding the goodness that is offered in Christ. And so I was reading that. It reminded me of some quotes from Brennan Manning in the Ragamuffin Gospel, and I want to read you just a segment of that to catch this idea of coming to brokenness and seeing ourselves as those people, actually being the first step of truly understanding the grace and love of God. So Manning says, "When I get honest, I admit that I am a bundle of paradoxes. I believe and I doubt. I hope and I get discouraged. I love and I hate. I feel bad about feeling good. I feel guilty about not feeling guilty. I'm trusting and suspicious. I'm honest and still play games. Aristotle said that I am a rational animal. I say that I'm an angel with an incredible capacity for beer. To live by grace means to acknowledge my whole life story, the light side and the dark. In admitting my shadow side, I learn who I am and what God's grace means. As Thomas Merton put it, a saint is not someone who is good, but who experiences the goodness of God. The gospel of grace nullifies our adulation of televangelists, charismatic superstars, and local church heroes. It obliterates the two-class citizenship theory operative in many American churches, for grace proclaims the awesome truth that all is gift. All that is good is ours, not by right, but by the sheer bounty of a gracious God. While there is much we may have earned, our degree and our salary, our home and garden, a Miller Lite and a good night's sleep, all this is possible only because we have been given so much. Life itself, eyes to see and hands to touch, a mind to shape ideas and a heart to beat with love. We have been given God in our souls and Christ in our flesh. We have the power to believe where others deny, to hope where others despair, to love where others hurt. This and so much more is sheer gift. It is not reward for our faithfulness or our generous disposition or our heroic life of prayer. Even our fidelity is a gift. If we but turn to God, said St. Augustine, that itself is a gift of God. My deepest awareness of myself is that I am deeply loved by Jesus Christ, and I have done nothing to earn it or deserve it. What Manning's getting at is, as much as we want to know ourselves, be true to ourselves, and there's this yearning for identity. The root of finding the true identity comes when I actually stop trying to prop myself up and can just admit my own brokenness and see the goodness of God's grace. And so that openness to all the good news of the gospel begins actually when I can be honest enough to say, I am broken. There's a problem in me. And when I see myself as those people, I can see the good news. I can see the gospel as good news to those people. So it's a rough place to start. But if we're going to go up, and if we're going to see all the goodness of God and the grace He offers, we have to first be willing to be vulnerable and honest and see our own unworthiness. And so I encourage you today to see where your perspective props up walls of self-righteousness that hinder you from seeing the grace of God. Invite God to reveal to you a greater sense of your own brokenness so that you might gain a greater sense of His grace. So we'll continue reading as we go in through this series, and as always, I invite you to throw some comments in so we can see what you're thinking. Join us in the group and comment there. Encourage you to like and share the videos so that we can get a sense of who all is watching and just see where our time's going. So thanks for tagging along. We'll see you tomorrow.